You've never seen him on WFA ever before. Mike Leslie joining us from, I guess, his guest room.
That's exactly right.
Thanks for joining us, Mike. He made it out of the garage. He made it out of the garage about 2 hours ago after going through his Masters Sunday.
That was not my garage. That was a buddy's garage.
Oh,
I wish I had that set up in my garage. Are you kidding me?
Well, he's made it back. And he's wearing a Princeton basketball shirt to show us about the school that he did not attend. But we must talk about the Masters because there were so many different storylines, and obviously Rory wins his second straight, and we can touch on that, of course. But I found that there were so many fun and weird moments that really throughout the course of the weekend, and especially on Sunday, on that second nine. But Mike, we'll start with you. Just what felt like the most memorable part of this year's Masters?
Wow. Most memorable part might be some of the celebrations afterward. Rory with his father, Rory with his daughter Poppy. Some of the comments that Rory made afterward about how this weekend has become Poppy's favorite week on the calendar for a variety of different reasons, including ice cream. There were some really, really cool family moments for the McIlroys over the course of the after round period. But it's just he has a flair for the dramatic, sometimes in not the best of ways.
Most polite way you could ever put it.
Sure.
Yeah. I honestly wonder whether or not Andrew Seeley should feel vindicated relative to the conversation that he and I and Pete Friedman had on Friday. As
I was hoping you were going to do this. I was hoping.
Or whether.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know. Like, I feel like on a lot of levels, Andrew, we have a case here where we're all correct. You were absolutely right to say, pump the brakes on Rory McIlroy. He's going to figure out a way to screw this thing up. But Pete and I were also correct in saying he's got a 6-stroke lead. Nobody's really going to be able to beat him. It all came out in the wash. We were all right.
Sure, that's one way of putting it. I will say this, right? Pete, to give some background here, Pete asked me if you were a betting man, would you go with Rory? Or he wanted Rory and the top two guys behind him, and I'd take the rest of the field. And I'm like, I don't know how the other two guys are going to do. I know how what's going to happen to Rory at some point this tournament, so I was a little nervous on taking that bet. But no, my point was Rory's going to have this spectacular Friday, great round two. As you were claiming at the time, lapping the field, literally the largest lead in Masters history. And I'm sitting here thinking, listen, guys, I've seen this movie enough times to know come Sunday, everything's going to get funky. And lo and behold, wake up on Sunday morning, tied for the lead, down 2. And when he double bogeys early in the round, you're sitting there thinking, oh, my goodness, it is literally self-destruction again. And it was one of my favorite tweets heading into the weekend was like, either Rory is going to destroy all trauma left in his soul, or he's going to develop new trauma from this entire disaster. And thankfully for him, he doesn't have to relive a lot of those bad memories.
That's what I thought. I mean, going into Saturday, it's like Rory's either going to do this. He's going to go back to back, which would be incredible after him not winning for nearly 2 decades, the one tournament that had eluded him for so long. Or he's going to blow the largest 36-hole lead in Masters history, and he's going to kind of be not right back where he started, but it is going to be another, oh, geez. And that's kind of been the story with Rory for so long, and I don't know, it felt like Groundhog Day, because I remember watching last year's tournament, and it was Rosie and McIlroy kind of fighting there at the finish, and Rose just kind of collapsed there on the second nine. He just did he just looked completely unglued. Which is uncharacteristic for Justin Rose because, as somebody who's 45 years old, you figure that he'd be, a little bit more solid between the ears. But, I mean, he's still competing at 45. I wonder if, next year he'll show up at 46 and get it done. The same age I believe Jack Nicklaus was when he won 40 years ago. So, Rory, obviously an amazing story in its own right. But we are a Dallas TV station and a North Texas TV station. We got to talk about Scottie Scheffler. Because when you see him to start the day only a few strokes back, you got to think, oh, my gosh, Scottie's got a chance.
Yeah.
And I mean, golf in the last 3-4 years, if Scottie's in that top 5 on Sunday, you're scared, you're nervous. And for the first time, and it felt like forever, Scottie just didn't have it when he needed it most.
Which is crazy because I said exactly that, Jonah. I think he was maybe on 14. He had the opportunity on 13, missed the birdie putt, failed to do anything on 14, and I posted exactly. He just doesn't quite have. He's still right there because that's how good he is. He can not have his A game and still be right there in striking distance to win the Masters. That's how good this dude is, but he just didn't quite have it. And I hit send on that post, and there he goes, birdies 15, birdies 16. I'm like, either I'm cursed or I just gave him the best reverse jinx ever because he almost surged and won the flipping tournament.
But that's what's
it was unbelievable.
That's what's crazy about Scottie and Rory, for that matter, is that it feels like these guys are having bad rounds. And then you look at their scorecard, and they're even par, maybe -1. I mean, Scottie, it felt like a very blah round. But he was what? Was he -4 on the day?
I mean, it's the
yes,
first time.
he was 4 under without a bogey. And it felt like a blah round.
It was the first time there was 2 rounds without a bogey since 1942 or something ridiculous like that.
That's just the standard. That's the
only
standard
because they
that
could
he
only
has
go
set.
that far back.
Right. But also, like, again, this close, that shot on 17 that just peels off. He had like 4 putts on this entire final round that a nudge here or there, it's a totally different round, and he wins it walking away. But if that 17 shot goes in and then Rory slices into the woods, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Talk about drama. And you want drama. You want to put Scheffler and McIlroy in a playoff for the Masters?
That's the hard part about all of this, is that over the course of the weekend, there were so many moments where Scheffler just let a stroke out there.
Yeah.
And all he needed was one at the end. I mean, that's what's crazy. But finally, just kind of last thoughts. I mean, there was so much that went on today. Sergio Garcia just crashing out in the weirdest of ways. Actually, not really weird.
It was like me yesterday.
Kind of par for the course. But my personal favorite, I found myself kind of rooting for him today, was Hao Tong Lee from China, who's really kind of become sort of a golf fan favorite. Took forever to find his ball over the course of the day. He was like -7, -8 at one point. Finishes +1 because he just absolutely collapsed on the second 9.
Quintuple bogey.
And he was playing with Scottie the entire time. I thought that might elevate him.
Did you hear what they said he has engraved on one of his clubs?
What's this?
Handsomest man in all of China.
Love it.
Is engraved on his 5-iron.
He is the Dos Equis man of golf. He is just so fascinating. I want to see more of him, and I hope we see him competing again next year. He was fantastic.